Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Adrielle. I am currently telling a story of my life dating back from January 2016. Previous episode, I spoke about the month of October 2018. This episode, I'm going to talk about November 2018. And yeah, so here it goes. November, time is winding down. Now, at this point in November, like I said, I am making friends. I've made two new friends, Dina and Ruby. Dina was someone who me and her we took micro together, and Ruby was someone who I took global finance together. But I was really getting close with Dina. We would eat on campus together. At this point, I have invited her to church, so yeah, we just doing things together. Now, there was a day in November, early November, we were going to church. And I was telling her how I am going to move out of Melissa's apartment, and I don't even know how I'm going to move out, but when that time comes for me to figure it out, I'll figure it out. So we're driving, and she says to me, I can help you. I was like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, I can help you. I was like, oh my goodness, thank you. I don't have to worry about who's going to help me in December. She was like, oh, thank God. Because, as I was sitting here, God was just telling me, like, tell her you're going to help her, tell her you're going to help her. So I just had to get that out. I was like, oh my goodness, God told you to help me. I was like, wow. Like, oh my goodness, that is so amazing. I was like, wow. Because I was telling her, like, I wasn't even so concerned about the moving out because I don't move on to December. But for her um to make that decision to help me a month before, I'm so grateful for that. She was like, yeah, God just tell her. So I was like, wow, thank you. So as far as my public finance class goes, after the project, there were other homeworks we had to do. So I told myself, I'm doing this on my own. I ain't calling Tracy. So November 5th, that homework was due, and I did it by myself. So yeah, I handed that in class. Nighttime, I come back home. I come back home. I say hi to Melissa. No response. I say hi again. She was like, "Oh, hi." I was like, "Is everything okay?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." Um, rest of the night, she ignores me. So I'm just doing my own thing, prepping for my possible move in December, looking for an apartment, also trying to just navigate these classes and everything. So I go apartment hunting one time in the library, and I come across a particular apartment that was in my price range. So we're going to call this apartment Douglas, right? I said, you know what? Douglas looks good on the website. The price looks good too. It's in North Decatur. I am going to book an appointment to see the place, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I booked an appointment on the 11th of November. So as I'm going to class, coming back to the apartment, Melissa is still not talking to me. And I'm wondering, like, what's going on again? Like, yo, we just made up and she's still not talking. So we're not talking, but she's on the phone talking to people. Like, it's basically the same thing she did to me last time. And I'm just like, what is going on? So one morning I took a shower. And while I was taking the shower, she was talking on the phone and she was doing some things. And I was like, yo, can you stop? And then she was still talking on the phone. I wanted to fight her again. I wanted to fight her again. I was like, yo, what is wrong? Like, yo, what is up with you? Like, every time I'm here, it's like a dark cloud is over your head. Like, you just having an attitude. And that's how we just got into it. So we got into it, and she started talking about me basically wasting water with the whole laundry and whatever. And she was just saying how the water bill is high and she's been paying for it. I was like, you never told me that. If you told me that I'm using more water than usual, I would just pay the extra fee. Like, I was like, you're not telling me these things. So And then I was like, how much is it? She was like, no, no, forget, no, no, no. How much is it? You've been paying for that high water since these past couple of months. How much? I said, you know, I'm gonna give you $200 because I don't want to hear that. Oh, I did this for Adriel. Oh no. Now that you told me that the water bill is high, I'm going to cover for the previous months that I didn't know about and I didn't pay. I'm going to cover it by paying you $200. He's like, okay, I'll take the 200. And then I'm like, why are you just walking around like there's a dark cloud over your head, like just having an attitude? She was like, Adriel, everything is not about you. Everything is not about, I'm going through certain stuff. It's not about you. Now, I hear what she was saying. And I was telling her, like, how do you expect me to feel? I'm in this apartment with you. If I had my own room, I wouldn't be caring about what you're doing in your own room, you know? But I'm in this apartment and you just walking around with an attitude. How do you think the environment is going to be for me? You know? I was like, yo, you don't talk about stuff. And also, I told her, like, if I have nothing to do with what you're going through, why am I the one paying for the issues you got going on? Because she had no problem talking on the phone and keying, but when it came to me, it was like she was dumping all her stuff on me, you know? So that's when like we had another conversation. So she was like, you know, I don't open up. She's like, Adriel, it's not easy for me to just open up. Like I'm someone who I have to write my feelings down in a journal. Like I can't just verbalize and tell people how I feel like you. Like she's like, I'm still learning that. So I was like, okay, we have to come together, you know. We can't be at odds and stuff like that. So we made up. Oh my goodness. It was just yeah, we were just it just felt toxic for both of us. So we made up. So it was time for me to visit the apartment. I did. And it was beautiful. It's a beautiful apartment in North Decatur, Georgia. And I was like, yeah, this is beautiful. So we started talking about prices. So apparently the price that I saw on the website, which was $990, that was no longer the base price for that apartment. So another management company had taken over the apartment, so they changed the prices. So she told me if I can move in by December 1st, which was the earliest, she can give me the apartment for 1030. I'm like, well, December 1st, I still have classes. I can't move in then. I the closest I can move or the time I wanted to move was December 14th. So she said, well, if you move in December 14th, you're gonna get the apartment for 1140. So we went from 990 to 1140. You know, I was like, okay, I will think about it. So I went back to the apartment, looked at the amenities and everything. It seemed solid. I was like 1140. Do I have 11? Like I did not plan to rent an apartment for 1140. My mark was $1,000. So I was like, man, maybe I should look elsewhere in North Decatur. Because if I can find a cheaper apartment, I probably would go with that place. Let me keep my options open, even though I do like Douglas. So November 17th. Now at this point, my parents are back from traveling, and I have a conversation with them about the apartment. My mom in particular says, "Go ahead and just apply." I was like, okay. Now, when she said that, I was looking into other places, calling them. I received no answer. So when she said, just go ahead and apply, I was like, okay, let me just do it because all the other places I'm trying to inquire about, they're not responding to me. So I applied to Douglas. November 25th, which was a Sunday, I go to the library and I meet up with Ruth. Now y'all know Ruth from previous episodes. So I ran into her, we're talking, and I started talking about graduate assistantships. Like I'm like, yo, it will be good for me to get one for the next semester, which was going to be my last semester at Georgia State. And she tells me she has a graduate assistantship and her job is looking for people and they're looking for tutors. So she's like, just let me know. I can tell my boss to email you or call you or whatever. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Thank you for setting that up. Thank you for helping me set that up. November 26th was the day I got my braces. I got the bottom set of my braces, and that thing was tight, man. That thing was tight. I got my braces, and on my way back to the apartment, I get a text from Ruth that, hey, they sent you an email, check it out. I checked out the email, it was an interview. So I'm like, ooh, things are going good. Things are going good. November 29 was when I had the interview. I went there and seemed good, came back and decided to study. So at this point in November, I was pretty much done with classes. Yes, I was pretty much done with classes at the end of November. Um, so for a recap, November, Melissa and I got into it again. Uh, um, I found an apartment, and also at the end of November, everything was finalized as far as my application to the apartment. Um, I got an interview with a graduate assistantship position. What else again happened? Got my braces, got the bottom set. Um, so yeah, so things are, looking good. The semester, ended at the end of November. And now I did say back in September that I was going to stop checking on Brandon. Well, November, I went back. November, I went back to checking on him. And I had a dream. I had a dream. And in the dream, this was what happened in the dream. I had a dream where it was me, him, and also, sidebar, Brandon's brother. I'm not sure if I mentioned him, but Brandon has a brother, and we're going to call him Nami for the sake of the story. So in the dream, it was me, Brandon, and his brother. We were gathered together like in the living room. His brother goes outside, and I'm like, yo, what's happening? Brandon tells me we're having fellowship. When Brandon's brother goes outside, he comes with a large group of people. They come inside the house, and we all hold hands and pray. So I woke up and like, okay, what does that dream mean? I had a dream we're having like devotion or fellowship. What is that? And in the dream too, Brandon was the one conducting the fellowship. So is Brandon going to be a pastor? Because I don't want to be a first lady. I don't. I don't want to marry a pastor. So that was a dream I had. But anyways, end of November, things are going good. Things are going good, and I've ended the semester. So yeah, next episode I am going to talk about the month of December 2018. And this is when things start to shift a little bit. Okay? If you like my video, like it. Yeah, like really press the like button. Also, press the notification bell so you can be notified anytime I post a video. Share my video, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. You can check me out on Twitter as well. And yeah, so until next time.